And now the next single, which is one of my favourite Shanties song, was Kiss and Tell.
Kiss and Tell. Yeah.
So
Eve.
Yeah.
Singing.
Now I want to bring up something. In the video, you're only in a portion. Is it true that you broke your arm? For that video or something?
I was in hospital.
Oh, so that's why you only see the bit where you're kind of all hanging out in a room and
We'd
stuff.
been touring and then I had to be rushed to hospital. So I was in hospital and the clip was all scheduled to go ahead with this very famous guy called Teddy Horton, who at the time was probably the most famous advertising director, you know, of ads and stuff in Australia at the time. He'd won lots of awards and everyone thought that'd be quite, and he'd never done a film clip, so we thought that'd be quite an interesting angle to see, you know, where someone who's very commercial, he'd done very artistic, but for the time, they're very 80s looking now if we looked at them, but lots of sort of fashion ads and very 80s and, you know, that sort of whole kind of thing. So he directed that one, and he, so I was in hospital and we had to go ahead with it. It was all being shot in an old house in Sydney.
Because it was like a pub thing.
There's some in a pub and some in an old house.
So the old house you were in?
Yeah. So they took me out of hospital for the day, put a stopper in my drip, put me in bed. I remember getting there and going, I've got to have my hair washed. That's all. I don't care what happens.
I was going to say, your hair looks really...
as long as my hair is washed. I've been in hospital for about 4 days or something.
So as I say, you don't really look like you've been in hospital.
Yeah. And then they put me in the bed and I just had to do lots of dying acting. And they did definitely.
All that.
And they shot me in black and white. So that's all I can tell you about that one because I was in hospital.
You weren't there.
I wasn't there.
Yeah, well, you did perform it on Hey Hey Saturday though. You were definitely there.
Yes,
now, did you guys do Countdown Revolution at all? No. The revamp of Countdown?
Oh.
Probably don't remember.
No, when did that happen?
89.
Probably would have, wouldn't we?
Yeah, I think you would have.
Can't remember. There's a lot of stuff I can't remember.
Yeah.
I saw Alex Paps the other day, and he was asking me.
The Factory.
Yeah. And he said, "Were you ever on the Factory?" And I said, "I think so."
I think you would have been.
We were on Sounds Unlimited.
Yeah, with Donnie and everything. Yeah. And I mean, fifth single was "Come Back to Me."
Was that the fifth? Yeah, okay.
And was there a video made to that?
Yes, there was.
I haven't seen that one because that one was a bit rarer too.
Now, Come Back to Me is actually a really lovely. It all looks like it's shot out in the Wild West.
Okay.
It's all sort of dusty, and we're in little skirts and little sundresses with cowboy boots, and we've got big old Lincoln cars, and you know it's all a bit. And we're out. I can't even remember where we were. Out somewhere, and it was kind of dusty, and then the big old factory, and we're on a hill, and then there's some studio stuff. And you know what? I can't even tell you who directed it. It's drawing a little bit of a blank. Come Back to Me. Yeah.
Now after that, Totty left.
I know we couldn't find outfits. Totty left before Come Back to Me.
Yeah. Why did she leave for?
She just decided she wanted to pursue her own career and do her own thing and get back into acting, so she left.
Yeah.
And we became three. We were like green bottles hanging on a wall.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And around that time, you girls seemed to be more featured on the sleeves. And the guys weren't as much. They were still in the background. David Rain, I know, was. Were they all the four still around? Yeah.
They were still the four,
Okay. But it was basically marketed as the three girls at this point.
Well, I think, they tended to,
Yeah.
So then, Come Back to Me was the last, although that was the last single that we did with all the boys.
Yeah, oh, okay.
And then we decided to go it alone, just as three of us.
Yeah, with the next album, Glide the Lily.
With Gild the Lily. Gild's the Lily.
Yes, can't say that word. And that was a nice cover too.
Yeah, that was shot by the same photographer who's a very well-known fashion photographer.
Yeah.
Tony Notter, and he also shot the film clip for Walk On.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Which was done very much like that. Yeah, and we tried to convince Richard Wilkins that we'd gone to Paris to shoot it. And he sort of went with it for a while until someone phoned in on MTV and went, I think that's the post office in the Sydney post office. Because we were trying to get angles of the street so it didn't look like we could be anywhere. And we had us coming off a Learjet and we were on a beautiful, old, fantastic, lacquered wood boat in Sydney Harbour. Eve dropped a pair of, $550 Gucci sunglasses over the edge into the harbour. So the whole thing, we were all headbands and big sunglasses, and we were supposed to be very sort of like that. Yeah. We had the three guys that were like our toy boys that were these gorgeous models, and it also got banned because Tux, the black guy in it, who's gorgeous. We were up on in Newtown on a shop awning, so we were up high with the whole sort of streetscape behind us. It was it's almost probably my favourite film clip as far as it's really.
And do you have copies of videos of that?
I do.
I have to get them off you.
Yeah. I do somewhere though. Yeah, but I don't know if I've got them with me. I might have packed them into storage.
The cover was really good of the album.
Career with me.
Yeah, great.
You had got it on a video. Yeah.
You had like the headbands.
Yeah, we had the headbands.
Short black
and the clothes were really like highly styled.
Yeah,
and that was
great,
all those all-in-one black jumpsuits with the big silver chain belts and
I love
the switches. That was the first time we had the switches in our hair. And then for the tour after that, we wore the switches on stage.
Okay. And Love the One You're With was.
Love the One You're With was
that filmed in Queensland?
Yeah, a lot of it was filmed in Queensland.
It looks like surface.
Yeah, because we were on tour with Billy Joel.
Oh, okay,
so we had to sort of film it while we're on tour. So there's bits of it that are backstage at all the big arena shows we did with Billy Joel. There's bits of it.
I thought it was
me
Queensland.
Sleep in a bus. Yeah, there's stuff.
It's like a tour kind of.
Yeah. And that was, in fact, I think in the background there's a shot that's so quick, and I think it is, you can see Billy Joel really kind of, well, you can't, you'd have to slow it down. I think he's in the background. If it's not Billy, he's stepped out, and it's Michael Gudinski, but they're all sort of in the background.
And that track went, I think, 21 or 20, so.
Yeah, I actually thought that could have been hard. No, this is bringing me down. Started with my age, and it's just been down. Just Mr. Numbers. Can't throw enough numbers around. Anyway.
Well, overall, the Shantooties were quite a success, pretty much.
And then our last single, which was very sad, was a great song, was I'll Be There.
Yeah.
Which was shot by Paul Goldman, who then went on to do Suburban Mayhem and Aussie Rules, those great
And that song wasn't featured on the album, was it? It was
maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was going to be the next album. It would have been the single of the next album.
Because I loved a track of the second album, Moon.
Oh yeah, Moon. Angie sang it.
It's a great song. I know Moon. I can't remember her.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah,
Moon something.
Yeah. I thought you'd
get on the phone. And what's it called? Moon. She's worse than me.
Moon.
She'd go, oh, darling, I don't know. I'm just down here with the baby. I don't know, something. Moon something.
Yeah. Second album was a really nicely produced album, actually.
Yeah.
Nice production and really.
Yeah, they went to America and to LA and finished off the album over there.
It's got a nice sound.
Yeah.
Kind of nice.
A lot of stuff written by James Rain on that album.
Now, I wanted to bring up something. Motor's Running Way Too Fast.
Slice Notion, it was called for us.
You guys did that before.
We did that before James. James didn't want it originally and said, why don't you guys have it? Angie sang that as well. Great song, so it's a bit more of a laid-back version. And then, I don't know, he must have been maybe he was coming up to doing his next album or something, and his record company said, I don't mind, let's have another listen to that song. And maybe he gave it a bit of a rejig and decided to put it on his next album. Yeah.
Okay. And why did Shane choose his Call It a Day after I'll Be There?
Well, I'll Be There was rather sad because what's her name? Dogs come running when I sing. What's her name? You know, Mariah Carey. Because that.
Dogs come running. That's fantastic.
Well, they're the only ones that can hear it when she's.
Oh gosh,
doing that.
Yeah.
So she put out almost at around about the same time the ballady version. We were the dance version, and she was the ballad version.
She did.
And she again got that out. I mean, we didn't. It was just weird timing.
Or
maybe we came out around that. She did anyway.
At least
nice to say she did a little better than we did. But she was at that point huge. You know, it was Mariah Carey was it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mariah and Whitney. We'd moved into the era of the power ballad, the diva.
Yeah.
And,
unfortunately, yeah.
And I think probably Eve had recently got married. She, I think, wanted to sort of, maybe she was getting itchy feet.
Yeah.
Suddenly there was going to be Angie and I. It was getting pathetic. We were like, oh, you could...
Well, you lasted a good 6 years.
I think we were even more than that. Maybe 7 years.
Yeah.
And I suppose, you know, we just went, oh... Look, what do we do? What do Angie and I do? I mean, I would have probably gone on for a little bit because we were sort of just on the cusp of really, there was an English company that were really, record company that were very interested in distributing us over there.
What a pity.
And I'd been over, because of being the one with the profile in England, had been over to meet and greet and do the chat.
And I think the chat
really
would have worked.
I got the call.
In the UK for sure.
I was somewhere else when I got the call that they didn't want to play anymore. Oh, I know. I was in Sydney and I was doing I'd come back and I was doing a mini-series. Yeah. And then when I was going to having finished the mini-series, which was a thing called Frankie's House for the ABC, we were then going to probably look at the third album and it would be distributed through.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And what they might have done was they might have taken a sort of a best-of album and distributed that over there.
I could have seen you guys doing quite well in the UK.
Yeah.
Sure, definitely.
Yeah.
Like you were very marketable for the overseas market, for sure. At least with Witch Queen as a cover, you guys got in and no one else did it.
That's right.
Yeah. So, so that's gone past. What did you do after the Shannon Tuesdays?
Well, I did the mini-series.
Yeah.
And then I sort of hung around in Melbourne for a little bit longer, and then I moved back to Sydney. And then I just did various, acting jobs. I did... I was in the Rocky Horror Show for a while. I toured with that. I did. What have I done since? Oh, lots of things. Did you Lord of the Land? I came back down to Melbourne to do that.
Did you do Farscape with American?
I did. I was on Farscape for a minute.
And you pitted All Saints?
Yeah, All Saints more recently playing jazz singer, so there I got to use the singing again. Yep. Oh, I don't know, lots of things. I'm telling movie called Scorched, another one called Stepfather of the Bride. Various theatre productions. So just over the last sort of...
So I suppose the fact
every now and again revisited the Shantuzis a bit. You've done a bit of that sort of stuff.
I was going to say, it's probably good that you also got into acting as well as the singing. So you could juggle both. And do you have a passion for one more than the other? Or?
No, not really, because when I'm singing, I go, God, this is fun. I really enjoy doing this.
Yeah.
And then when I'm acting, I go, oh, this is good. It's
probably more serious. Maybe.
The acting side of it is for me a sort of stronger discipline. The singing is a bit more.
But it's own kind of. And
Big Sky, that's what it was.
Big Sky.
I'm trying to think. I'm sure there was a series of them.
I was trying to think. Was that on Channel 10?
Yeah,
it was. Yeah,
I lived up there. I was just a jobbing actor up there, doing all those kind of gigs. I came down here occasionally for the odd job. Toured. Just life. Went overseas. Mucked around.